Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the Mac City Morning Show. I am your host, Elliot Pierre, and we're going to start the show off the same way we just start every show off, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million of other things with your time, so the fact that you're spending it with us truly does mean the world to me. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's she cutting me, loves? You're listening to the Mac City Morning Show.
All right. Now, we got a good one today because we have my favorite type of guest, the individual that I know nothing about. So they're my favorite because I like to meet people. I like to hear their stories. As per usual, you guys are pretty used to it. I don't introduce the guests because they can do a better job at that than myself. So on that note, sir, can you please tell people who you are and what you're about?
Yeah, I'm Johnny Byrne. I'm CEO at Special Olympics Alberta, and that's what brings me to your room today.
Nice. Awesome. So yeah, we haven't met before, but I took a quick little video of you earlier today. You sat in a kid's pool and had athletes dump ice water all over you. It's minus 14 outside today.
Yeah, I did, but it's part of my Plunge tour. It's the a major fundraiser we have for Special Olympics. It's the polar plunge. It's actually done around the world by different Special Olympics programs. We get big support from law enforcement, who's a big part of doing that for us. This year, obviously, we do it a bit differently. It's a virtual plunge. So part of my thing was, hey, I want to get out to as many of our communities as possible and make sure we're able to show them recognition and show them some love. And that's sort of what got me coming up to Fort Mac so I can have some of the amazing athletes here dump water over my head.
That's awesome. Well, the athletes loved it today.
Yeah.
From like the older ones to the younger ones, they were all smiles.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to say that was a highlight for me because it's the program here just started up again this fall. And then sort of 5 weeks later, they're shutting down because of COVID, but they've kept with it, and that was one of the driving forces to making sure I got here, just to show the recognition for the awesome work that they've done. And it was very cool for me too because I got to meet some new athletes. So that's the real reason why I've been in this movement for so long. It's the impact you make on those individuals' lives and the families. And as you would have seen there today, it's not just an athlete showing up. You had a big mix. You had individuals with intellectual disabilities, those that live independently. We had one of the athletes, Dallas, who I just met today. She was very proud because she was proud to talk about that she no longer has a support worker with her. She gets to live independently, and that was something big for her. And that was I was like, wow, that's awesome. And then I got to meet Dale, who works at the local Safeway, and Sobeys and Safeway is a huge supporter of Special Olympics, but that's obviously not why he's there. He's there because he's a great worker. He's very proud that he's been working full time throughout the pandemic. Then I met some of the younger athletes that are school-aged, and it's just really cool just seeing that whole range.
Right.
And you see the support and the people around them too. That's the really cool part about meeting new people.
Yeah, man. So how did you get involved with Special Olympics?
It was through, I went to Memorial University in Newfoundland, and I did an adaptive physical education program there. And yeah, I volunteered as part of my program it was actually a program adjacent to Special Olympics, but Special Olympics is one of those kind of things that as an organization, everybody knows the name. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, Special Olympics, I know that, but you don't really know. But I was just like, oh, okay, I know what that is. And then through a co-op placement, I worked with Special Olympics. And then after I graduated school, a position came open, and then 22 years later, here I am.
Wow, so you've been working with Special Olympics for 22 years.
Yeah.
Holy moly, man, that's crazy. Good for you.
Yeah, no, but I've gone down many roads. So I actually started sort of the reverse to what many people do. I started at the national office in Toronto, like right out of university, and I was there for a number of years. And I was executive director in Newfoundland, where I'm originally from. I was executive director at Special Olympics Newfoundland for 6 years, and then moved out to Alberta, and I've been here for I think over 11 right now. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, you just did something that most Fort McMurray individuals, McMurrayites, McMurrayans, I don't know what we call each other, but people from Fort Mac. There's a lot of us, or a lot of people, I should say, from Newfoundland here.
Yeah.
Now, you went from Newfoundland. You didn't make it. You went to Edmonton.
Yeah.
So why did you leave Newfoundland to go to Edmonton?
It wasn't because obviously I was with an organization that I loved, but it was at a time where my wife was just finishing university and there wasn't necessarily opportunities for her there. And then the program in Alberta sort of approached me and said, "Would you be interested in coming out here to work at some point?" And then yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, makes sense. So it wasn't a drive that it's like I got to get out of here. It was more of like, hey, this is an interesting opportunity, maybe something for our family, and like everybody else at that time, yeah, I'm gonna come out for 2 or 3 years and
Yeah.
do it. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
11 years later, here we are.
There you go. So what part of Newfoundland are you from?
Holyrood, so
Okay.
just about a half hour outside of St.
St.
John's on
John's.
the Avalon.
That's right.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
I love Newfoundland. It comes up a lot. I've been to Newfoundland a bunch of times in my career. I used to be a recruiter,
oh,
so I
okay,
used to like
yeah,
get people to come. Hey,
yeah.
there's a lot of you here already. Easy
Yeah,
transition. Come to Fort
yeah.
McMurray. So very cool. Okay, so you live in Edmonton now.
Yes,
You watch hockey?
I do watch hockey. I'm not a hockey. I'm
No.
not the hockey fan,
Oh, okay.
but I will watch hockey. Yeah.
All
So
right.
yeah, I know. Believe me,
That's
as soon as I show up in Edmonton, I realize oh, the Edmonton Calgary thing is real.
that's
Like,
right.
yeah, yeah.
That's
It's like, oh, yeah.
that's what I was gonna ask. I watch it in the garage with the boys.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'll watch it to watch it. It's
I
entertaining.
love watching.
I'm
Yeah,
Canadian.
exactly. I
I
love
watch
watching it,
it.
but yeah, I don't get caught in
don't
the middle of
follow
the
it.
Edmonton Calgary thing. Yeah.
So I was gonna say, when you moved to Alberta, like, did you get sucked into
Oh
that?
yeah,
So,
always. But hey, I got to stay neutral too because both the Oilers and the Flames are big supporters of Special Olympics. So hey,
Right.
that's what I cheer for. Here.
yeah, there you go. Now, I got to be honest with the Special Olympics. I don't know much about it. And it wasn't until last year, like you said before they shut down, the group reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you come and help us do some marketing, shoot some videos for us?" I do a lot of pro bono work for non-for-profit, so I went out and I got connected that way. But it was something that was off my radar prior to that. So I think there's a lot of individuals like myself who don't know much about the organization. You hear it, you hear the name,
Yeah.
but you don't know what that means. So can you kind of enlighten us a little bit about what the organization does and what you guys kind of stand for?
Yeah, and that's not surprised at all to hear that. Like that's a pretty common thing to hear because it is the name Special Olympics and the brand. When you track it against the brands in the world, it's one of gets some of the highest recognition. People just boom, and I think the one good thing about that, people hear Special Olympics and they automatically think that's a good thing.
That's right.
But then it's like, okay, well, what is it? Because Olympics is in the name, people also think, oh, so the next question you get is, well, when are they? Because it's like, okay, this is an event. When are they? And as you would have started to see here in Wood Buffalo as they're going, it's like, oh, wait, this is a community-based program.
Right.
And yeah, we have some amazing events. Like we have some really, really cool things. We'll have major games like national games and provincial games. That you'll have thousands of athletes at. You'll have athletes that will go to a world games, like those kind of things. Like we'll have that whole competitive stream. But the impact that we make is at the community level. So in Alberta now, we have 26 affiliates. Some people refer them as clubs or anything, but it's like, yeah, that's our affiliate base. And those are volunteer-run programs. And they service over 3,000 athletes in Alberta right now in over 160 communities.
Wow.
So, and that will be, we have 18 official sports that we'll offer, but then we'll have other sports that athletes will try. We have young athletes programs, which is fundamental movement. And we also have an amazing unified programs that we do in Alberta high schools. And we have one of our Fort McMurray high schools is very supportive, one of our great unified leading programs here too, that is athletes with and without disabilities that play together on the same team. And that's unified sports. So yeah, it's about inclusion, it's about empowerment, it's about health. And it's just really trying to provide people with an opportunity because I think whether you're a huge sport enthusiast or not, people sort of understand, okay, sport is a good thing. It helps, makes you healthier. A lot of people, definitely at like my age, you're not going into sport to be like, oh yeah, that's it. This is going to be my professional career. You do it. It's like, I want to spend time with people that I like. Yeah. And I'll be physically active. And that's really what we're providing Special Olympics is that it gives people a network and a community. And as you'll see out there today, with some of our athletes, like that community that gets created there is very cool. And it's very opening because it's not just like, okay, we're just going to be this insular group. It's like, no, let's get out in the community. Let's be there and see what happens. So yeah. So the thing is that I think if I was to distill it down, it's that Special Olympics, if you want to use the mission statement, we're dedicated to enriching the lives of intellectual disabilities through sport. If I really wanted to break it down, Special Olympics, we're not an event, we're a movement. And that's sort of what it comes down to. And that's what we're trying to create. We want to be part of the community and have our athletes be part of the community in a positive way.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely. The one event today had a few people because of COVID, obviously a little bit different. But the first one that I went to, and you nailed it, all walks of life. The parents, the friends, the volunteers, the athletes. There's a lot of people that are involved in it. And that's great because you get, like you said, it becomes a movement. Very cool. So now, out of all of the different sports, this is kind of like asking you who's your
Yeah.
favorite. I know it's hard to answer, but which one of the sports do you kind of gravitate to more?
Oh, for Special Olympics?
Yeah.
So you got to go. You want to do a winter sport or something? So if I would say winter, I really enjoy floor hockey because of the team aspect.
Hmm.
Just and it's yeah, just watching the interaction dynamics of our athletes working together as a team and the leaders that develop and things within there. Um, Summer sports, I've really taken a liking to bocce lately. I don't know, it's just really
Okay.
exploded for our athletes, and it's really come out there, and it's one of those kind of things just to once again see the development of our athletes, and it's really accessible to all different levels. And I think that's a really cool thing as you've noticed about Special Olympics, and you'll see this at the highest level. So if you go to a World Games, um, the whole foundation of Special Olympics is that athletes of all abilities have the same opportunity.
Yeah.
So and through processes which is called divisioning. So let's just say if you'll take the 100-meter race, so you could have 120 athletes in the 100-meter race, but through divisioning, it's like you could have 12 different races,
Right.
but it's like each race is considered its own championship, but you have athletes that are of that similar ability level
Hmm.
that are
Hmm.
competing. But it's not like Division 1 and Division 12. It's like, oh no, here's our true champion. It's like, no, this is
Yeah.
all abilities that are all champions within their own ability.
That's
And
right.
the cool things about us in our competitive stream is that, so let's just say if we do that race at our provincial games and we're selecting our athletes that are going to go compete for Team Alberta,
Hmm.
the athlete that wins a gold medal in Division 12 is that gold medal is worth the same as the athlete in Division 1. And that's
That's
when we
right.
select teams and we look at that, like that core foundation
Hmm.
is always there. So that's why when you go to a World Games, you go to a national games, you'll still see that huge range of abilities and
Right.
backgrounds and things like
Right.
that, which is
That's
very
awesome.
cool.
Just promoting positivity across the
Hmm.
board.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Very cool.
Doesn't take away the competitiveness. The
No.
competitiveness is still there. It's like
Dude.
it's huge, but it's awesome.
I went bowling with those athletes. To say it was competitive would be
Oh,
an
yeah.
understatement.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
like they're there to win.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
want,
yeah, which is
you're there to
great.
make friends and stuff, but
Well, yeah, and that's you don't
they're
want to take
counting.
that part away. You don't want it to be because that's sometimes one of the things that when you have people that will come in and will say we'll do it like an integrated competition or event, and it's that fine line between yeah we want to have that competition, but you never want to be in that like pandering. It's like oh yeah let's just whatever let's
That's
go
right.
and win. No, it's like
Yeah.
they're there for a competition. Like that's
Yeah.
part of the treating with equality, and that's something
right.
that our athletes pick up on very quick. It's like yeah you're not treating us like another athlete, and
That's right.
one of those things
Yeah.
that we always strive for.
They want to compete.
Yeah.
That's good because I find like I have a young little boy, Keegan. He's 6 years old, and so he plays soccer and stuff. And the first time we went there, kicking balls, and they played a little scrimmage, and they weren't keeping score.
Yeah.
But Daddy was keeping score.
Yeah.
And so at the end, I was like, "Hey, Keegan, you won!" And one of the other parents was like, "Yeah, we don't keep score." I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry, my bad."
Yeah.
And we got in the car. It's like, "Hey, Keegan, your team won." You got to keep score a little bit. There's nothing wrong with healthy competition.
Well, no, and I think that's the big thing about us because that's part of the learning part too. And it's like obviously that's not the first thing that's up. It's like okay, you've got to get out there and win, but it's
Right.
it's part of that. It's saying it's okay to compete and it's okay to be disappointed.
That's
Like
right.
if you don't achieve what you want, and for some of our athletes, it's not even the gold, silver, bronze. It's something that they've set for themselves. Like okay, I want to do this. And
Right,
it's part of that is
right.
embracing the yeah, no, yeah, you're disappointed. That's okay. That's part of this whole
Right.
thing. But then
Yeah.
it's like okay, how does the team deal with it? How's their whole athlete network deal with it? Like, how do they gather around that? It's a cool and really important part of the whole process for us, for sure.
That's awesome, man. That's great to hear. Now, you're at the part of the show called the Mac City Minute. Don't know if you've heard about it. If you haven't, well, that's okay. But Tanner has a few questions for you.
Okay.
I have no idea what he's going to ask you. Best of luck to you. Tanner, hit him with the Mac City Minute.
Wait, this is a sport thing, so I also got to go. Am I scored or am I judged? Is there criteria? Or is it just?
It's I like to call it the Mac City Minute because in Fort McMurray nobody ever does a minute in 60 seconds,
Yeah.
right? We do it on our own time. So
And success is how much you don't pause. So awkward pauses, that counts as a win or
All right,
lose.
I'm already inside my own head.
Yeah.
question number 1. What is the most special part for you of working with the Special Olympics?
They're athletes.
Question number 2. What is your favorite thing you've seen in your visit to Fort McMurray?
I went for a run over by the leisure center, so I went on the walking trails around there. Awesome.
Question number 2. Winter or summer? What event do you prefer and why?
Ooh, gonna go floor hockey for winter. Just teamwork, really good skills, and I have an athlete, Josh, that works with me, and he's a sniper. I just love watching him. Love watching him play.
Question number 4. What does Fort McMurray have that you haven't noticed in the other places you've been?
Ooh, and now I'm gonna get the pause. I only drove in here and went and got cold water dumped over my head. So pause could be with hypothermia, but we're just still not sure. Um, Honestly, I love the although like some of the other cities have the riverway going through. I just love I love the bridge waterway setup here. It's really cool.
And your last question. What puts Alberta over the other provinces when it comes to the Special Olympics?
Ooh, it's our athletes again, once again. And amazing CEO. Just that's the one thing. That's what the other CEOs across Canada always say. It's like Johnny's just the best. That's what puts him over the top.
And
There
those
we
have been
go.
your 5 questions.
That's awesome. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I honestly, because I was overhearing, I was being a little nosy, you talking to some of the other people at the thing today. They were dumping buckets of water on you, which there was a substantial amount of ice in all
Yeah.
of those buckets. But you were saying prior to COVID, you would be jumping into like rivers and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, we've in pre-COVID and like pre-virtual plunge, we had 5 plunge sites in Alberta that like different communities would do, and obviously it doesn't work now because when you do that, you'll get a lot of people that come and do it and go
That's
through
right.
that. But yeah, no, it's yeah, cut a hole through the ice, jump down, back up. Yeah,
You're a lunatic. How many
it's good.
times do you think you've done this? Like the
Oh, oh, so I'm doing 10 virtual plunges for this
okay,
season, hitting up a number of different like our supporters and sponsors, and then our communities.
okay,
I try to get to as many plunge sites as I can, but I would say of the past number of years, because I get anywhere between 3 and 5 in a year, so yeah, I got to be over 50 right now.
dear Lord.
But you figure out your technique. It's like
Okay.
it is the breathing. It is because like I find definitely jumping through the ice. It's the shock. So it's like once you get that, it's like okay, this is gonna be a shock. But once you're
Yeah.
ready for that and you can breathe it, yeah, it doesn't make it not cold. But the I have to say the Fort McMurray 4 buckets of ice with time spaced in between.
Yeah.
That was intense.
Yeah, those athletes didn't care that you were sitting in that one. They're taking their sweet time.
Oh, they did. They were
coming to
very
dump more
thorough on
on
the
you.
dumping too. It's like let's just take our time. It's like okay,
Yeah.
this is good. But hey, I loved it, man. They had a great time, and that was phenomenal for me.
So have you ever got sick? Like it's one of the things I see it on TV. I see people jumping in. I'm never gonna do it. But do you catch a cold afterwards? Is it like what happens to you? Is there a positive thing that happens in your brain afterwards?
Like it depends on the depth of the water. Like I've never gotten sick from them because you're not cold enough for that long that it's gonna
Okay.
that I've had any adverse uh, outcomes. And usually, the majority of places that we jump, say in Edmonton, the lake we do, you usually go up to here, sort
Right.
of where you go, because there's a big safety part of it too, and like there's usually divers that are at the hole too, and that kind of thing. But
Right.
remember, I did it in Lethbridge last year, and they off a dock, and they're like, okay, it's going to be this much, and then they jumped in, and it's like, oh man, I can't touch the bottom. I was going down, and it's
Right.
like, okay, I'm eventually going to come up, but that was cold.
Well, you listen. It's for a good cause, but
Yeah,
you
it's
still.
odd, and that's a part of it. It doesn't take skill. It just takes. I'm not going to say bravery. Maybe like a
Yeah.
lack of brains. At
Yeah.
points,
There you go. So, dude, that's it. The show's short
Awesome.
and sweet, only 20 minutes. But
Cool.
before we let you leave today, shameless plug one more time before you leave. Who are you? How can people help your organization out? Just let's get as many people aware of what you guys do as possible, please.
Yeah. Well, Special Olympics. We're in because like I said, your reach is beyond just where we're at right now. But Special Olympics Alberta, we have programs in many different communities like Fort McMurray, and we're always looking for volunteers. Obviously, local supports always look forward to from either volunteers, people that want to give, and the big thing for us too, it's that for individuals with intellectual disabilities that don't know about us, that are often intimidated because they think Olympics and they're like, oh, okay, I'm not good enough. It's like, no, we're for any age and any skill.
Right.
So come on out. So yeah, and like you can get us through our websites, through our social medias, and through that you can get all the information that you need.
There you go. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming
No,
in.
thank
I
you.
really
This
do
was awesome.
appreciate it.
This is great.
So for everybody at home, this has been another episode of the Mac City Morning Show. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name has been and is Elliot Pierre. And from the bottom of my heart, it really does warm it that you have tuned in to spend time with us, because you could be doing a lot of other things. So on that note, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
I said this. That's another Mac City Morning Show done.
It's so ballistic!
Talk about quenching your ugly thirst.